Hello everyone, welcome to SAS-a-fras's world. I'm Shane. Just to let everybody know, I am suffering a little bit from a head cold, so I might sound different, but I also am recording on the new camera, the Canon 6Ti, with the Rode microphone. So hopefully it'll be hopefully it'll be better video and audio for everyone. Today I took a few notes, so if you see me looking over or down at this, I'm just trying to remember what I want to say. This cold is kind of screwing around with my brain, and it wasn't all there to begin with. So let's get started. Today I would like to talk about some budget-friendly knives. Knives that you can use to get out into the woods and practice different skills and proper handling of knives that won't cost an arm and a leg. Before I do this though, before I show you the knives that I'm going to show you and explain to you why I have them, I would like to talk to you about the ongoing abuse of knives on YouTube. On this channel, I will not do abuse tests. That's what I call them, abuse tests. I will not stab the knife into hard pallet wood and see if the tip will break. I don't ever plan on prying with my knife. With any of my knives. I will not baton a log that's the same width as my blade is long. I won't do any of the torture tests. Knives are made to slice, cut, not chop, not baton. Mind you, there is a time for batoning. I mean, if you like to baton with your knife, that's great. I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that, so don't jump down my throat on that one. If you're out in the woods and you are wet, everything's wet, and you are going to you need to get into the center of the wood that you're able to use to get some dry wood to scrape it and make some fluff, or to slice feather sticks up. You may need to baton with your knife, but at that point you're not batoning a log. You're batoning smaller chunks of wood, and you don't have to hit it with all of your might just to get the knife through. There's a lot of times, I baton and I have to barely tap it, something like that. Yeah, I can see. I used to baton all the time. I don't do it so much anymore. You probably won't see a lot of it on this channel, but you will see some. I just wanted to get that off my chest before I go into the knives over here and show you what I think are pretty decent knives to bring out, and pretty decent budget-friendly knives to bring out, I should say. What I look for in a knife is one, full tang construction. Full tang construction means that the tang here, which starts, tang is from the handle to the end here, is full. It's fully through the handle, I guess, if you want to say, for lack of better words today. The blade length that I like to use is anywhere from 4 to 6 inches long. If it's under 4 inches for a primary knife, it's a little too short to do some of the more bulkier tasks. And if it's over 6 inches, for me, it's awkward to do some of the more finer tasks. I know there are some blades out there that are really good. They're longer, and the balance is just great for doing some fine tasks and everything. But for me, that's what I like. Now, if you like carrying around a bigger knife and stuff and using it, you feel better, great. Go ahead and do it. For me, I like it 4 to 6 inches, somewhere right around there. The thickness of the blade, I do like a thicker blade. I do believe this one here is about 1/8 of an inch. It is the thinnest I would go to take a knife out into the woods. I do have some knives that the blades are 3/16 inch thick, almost a 1/4 inch thick. I like those a little better, but the thicker the knife is, the heavier it's going to be, and the more hand fatigue you're going to have. So if you are just starting out and you want to do some carving and notches and stuff like that, it's probably better to have a little bit of a thinner blade until your hand gets used to it. And here I'm messing with this blade. Don't worry about it. This blade is not sharp at all. This is actually a project, one of many blades that I've picked up, and I'm going to be rehandling it and stuff. I also like a 90-degree spine. That way you can strike a ferro rod with the spine. You can take your dry piece of tinder and make tinder fluff, which is going to ignite and start a fire real nice and quick, especially if you can get a hold of some fat wood. As far as metal goes, I have knives that are made from different types of stainless steel, and I have knives made from different types of high carbon steel. I guess metal-wise, it depends on what you actually want. Do you want a knife that it keeps the edge for longer, but then most likely is going to be harder to sharpen in the field when it does dull? Or do you want a knife that doesn't keep its edge as long, but is easier, most likely, to sharpen in the field? So that's kind of up to the user there. Well, like any of these stats actually are up to the user. This is just what I like. This is just my opinion. Everybody else or everybody has a different opinion, and if you do agree with me, great. If you don't, great too. You use what you feel comfortable using. All right. Enough about that. Let's go into the knives I have sitting here on the table. Okay, we'll start with this one, seeing as I've been playing with it in front of the camera. This is an old Ontario knife company. Yeah, knife. Made in the USA. I think this is probably, 50s era, something like this. I got this from a thrift store for 50 cents. The handle on it was starting to be pried apart from the rust. So I took the handle off, sanded it down, and I'm still doing some things with it. And I'm going to rehandle it. I'm not going to use this as an outdoor bushcraft knife or anything. I like the high carbon steels for the kitchen knives. They sharpen up real nice, and for what you're going to be using in the kitchen, they stay sharp for quite some time. And it's just kind of old school. I like some of the old school stuff. I think it's pretty neat to know that a lot of this stuff was used in the past by different people. But you could very well use this outdoors. This is another knife that I had gotten from a thrift store, and I think I paid a couple dollars from this one. I'm sorry. It was a resale store, so it was a little more expensive than like the thrift stores are. It is another high carbon steel blade. What the name of the company that makes it, I don't know. I can't read it. I looked it up, and what I can see is Providence, USA. I do believe it says on there. It's in the 50s, I do believe. Also, it's got a plastic handle on it. I think I am going to rehandle this one, and I'm going to have to do some blade work because there's some chips and stuff in it. But again, I think I paid $2 for it. So, make a nice little knife. It's the blade, I do believe, is right around 4 inches, so it's on the shorter side of what I like. But just because a blade isn't quite as long or longer than I like, or thickness and stuff, doesn't mean I'm not going to buy it. I mean, for $2, so you can't go wrong. If nothing else, I can make this nice, put a neat handle and stuff on it, and use it as a like a secondary knife for cutting up food, maybe whittling a little bit or something, whatever you want to use it for. Definitely going to need a new sheath for this, but like I said, for $2, you really can't go wrong. Okay, the next knife that I'm going to talk about is a Mora, and I do believe this is the Mora Companion. I got it from Battle Box. It was, I do believe, in the basic box, which for the people who are getting the basic box, they got a really good knife. Now, this blade is not 4 inches long, but again, you could definitely take it out into the field, practice knife skills and proper ways of handling knives, and you got a really, really good knife here for under $10. I do believe this one is like 9 something on a few of the websites. Mora has a great blade. Now, this is not the handle that came with the knife. The knife actually has a mold injection handle, I guess. It has a rat tail tang, so it's not actually a full tang. It doesn't go back all the way to and stick out or whatever. But let me tell you, to get that handle off of there, I was using a Dremel and cutting it and stuff, and that handle is on there between the contour of the rat tail tang and being injection molded. It's not coming apart by any means unless you abuse the knife way beyond what you're supposed to be using the knife, but yeah, sorry. That's another knife you could easily take out. It's a great little knife. I like it. I'm going to use it for my wood carving kit that I have. I'm going to place it in that. And so that'll be in my pack. So it'll be a secondary knife for me. I'm going to have to put the handle itself, or not redo the handle, but put some more linseed oil on the handle itself. Okay, the next knife is from Walmart. It's I think it's called or pronounced Cumulus, something like that. At any rate, there's the knife and its sheath. It has a nylon sheath that is actually pretty sturdy feeling. I don't think it's going to fall apart anytime soon. A buckle on there, and here is the knife. It's kind of right in the middle of the thickness I like. I do believe it's 4¼ inch long blade. The handle is very comfortable. I don't feel any hot spots. It does have a 90-degree spine, and all for under $10. Now, the steel itself is a lower grade stainless steel, but it's very, very sharp. I don't even have any paper around here, sorry. I will be doing a review on this but we'll have to see what Mother Nature has planned. Under $10 at your local Walmart. The next knife that I will be showing you was a kit that I purchased from Self-Reliance Outfitters. I don't know if they sell this kit anymore. I know they do sell some blanks, and I don't know if they sell the kits themselves. But this came, it had the forged sludge, if you want to call it, on the knife itself. And then it came with handles. I'm not quite sure what the wood was, but you had to put it together, sand it down if you wanted to have it a little more, shiny, I guess. I was going to leave it, and I should have actually, because I think it would have been better as far as corrosion resistant. This is a high carbon steel blade, and it is a thicker one, of course, as you can see, and you can see the full tang through there. This was under $50 to get. I know they have a knife right now. I think it's called, was it Bushcraft 1? And that one's around $40. It is thinner, but it is full tang. And these knives are, they do have a lifetime warranty on them. Okay, the next knife that I have is quite controversial because it has Bear Grylls' name on it. Either you hate Bear Grylls or you love Bear Grylls, it seems like. I did watch him basically for entertainment purposes. It was an interesting show. You're not watching him to learn survival techniques and stuff, even though he was in the special forces and stuff, and he does know a lot of different things. Unfortunately, if you do a show, you have to keep on topping your previous shows, or else people will quit watching. So yeah, I'm sure it did get a little bit wild and stuff like that, but I found this knife, and this is the one I like to use a lot for a couple different reasons. First of all, the bevel is at a 20 degree. I like that because I can take this work sharp sharpener that has a fine side and a coarse side diamond plates, and same thing, fine and a coarse ceramic rod. And if you have some polish to put on there, it does have a leather strap on it, but it fits into a nice small, it's small, you can put it in your pack and you have it if you're going to be out for a few days. The knife itself stays sharp for quite some time, and when it does start to dull, I hit it up with this and voila, it's sharp again. I do sometimes strop with my jeans. It does work, believe it or not. So it's not quite as good as leather, but in a pinch, it works pretty decent. It's been heavily used. I've used this for 2 seasons now. This will be the 3rd season I'm going to be using this knife. I did do some changes to it. It did not have a 90-degree spine. It had a spot that was 90 degrees for scraping the ferro rod, which comes with it, but it didn't have a 90-degree spine. I took the grinder to it and I made a 90-degree spine all the way up to about here. So now I can use it and I can do tinder fluff and stuff, and then use the blade, of course, to do feather sticks. It works well on both those now. The sheath, I did a little bit of a mod on. The ferro rod that it came with was small. I mean, all these knives and stuff that come with the ferro rod, you know, they're kind of gimmicky ferro rods and stuff, and which is fine, you know. I wanted a bigger ferro rod. I wanted it so if my hands were cold, I could use this ferro rod because I can, you know, wrap the cord around a finger, grab onto the ferro rod, hold it with cold hands that aren't functioning quite right, and still take the blade and strike it and start a fire. Usually my hands don't get all that cold, but every once in a while, you know, it gets cold enough to where it's like, and this year I'm thinking it's probably going to be worse because I'm going to be filming a lot of it, so I will be using the tripod and the camera and stuff, and I will be having to take gloves on and off, you know, when it is getting cold. But, so yeah, this one is right around $75 now. I think it was like $89 when I bought it, if I remember correctly, something like that. So it has gone down some. But I do like this knife. Not because it's Bear Grylls, not because it's Gerber, not because of, but it's because I've used it and I liked it. And before I bought it, I went onto YouTube. That's one thing that YouTube is awesome for. Reviews. You know, people will take on and use the knives and stuff, and the channels that aren't actually just abusing them to get the subs and everything are very informative. Yeah, informative. There we go. At any rate, yeah. So yeah, get on YouTube. Check it out. You know, if you see a knife and you're like, oh, gee, I wonder how that knife is. Get on YouTube, type it in, watch many videos. See how many people like it, see how many people don't. See what they do like and see what they don't like. You know, that's the main thing. And see what's going to fit you. Your budget, your hands, your style, what you're going to be using the knife for. You know, and then go out there and get one. Like I said, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. 50 cents. With the scales, you know, let's add another $1 on there. So you got a knife for $1.50. You can sharpen this thing up real nice. Put it at a 20-degree angle. You can use something like this. You know, so if it dulls because it's, you know, you're using it and carbon steel, high carbon steel, you know, it's good and strong, but it dulls a little faster than some of the stainless steels do. That's all right. So whip it on here. You got a nice knife to bring out into the woods. Mind you, you're gonna have to either make a sheath or buy one, or you know, something like that. But make a 90-degree spine on it and good to go. Well, thank you for listening. If you like this video, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. That'd be awesome. Until next time, have fun, but be safe.